Hey kids, it's July 17th, Friday. Technically, it is already slightly past midnight here in Istanbul, so it is officially July 18th. But according to the time back home, it is still Friday. Our journey was mostly smooth, although it wasn't completely eventless. We had one small pooping accident, including a little leakage. One of our largest bags was also damaged. The zipper was torn, although thankfully, nothing appears to be missing. It was probably an honest accident, no major problem. Today, while traveling, I was thinking about our life. I don't mean that we are enormously rich or that everything is perfect. We aren't, and it isn't. But your mother and I have built a good life. We are healthy. We are financially stable. We have work that gives us opportunities. We have people we love. And most importantly, we have the four of us. Thinking about that made me reflect on what truly creates a meaningful life. There are 3 Japanese ideas that I try to keep in mind. Together, they offer answers to 3 important questions. Why do I wake up in the morning? How do I become better? And how do I continue learning throughout my life? The 3 ideas are Ikigai, Kaizen, and Shoshin. Let me begin with a story. Imagine that you are walking through a forest. You have been hiking for hours when you reach a crossroads. One path goes north, another goes south. There are paths to the east and west as well. You stand there, looking at the signs, completely unsure which direction to choose. Then someone walks toward you and says, "Walk faster. That is how you'll reach your destination sooner." That advice would be almost useless. If you don't know where you're going, walking faster only helps you become lost more quickly. But now imagine that someone points toward a beautiful mountain in the distance and says, "That is where you are going." Suddenly, something changes. You still have a long journey ahead. You still need to choose the path. You still need to learn, persist, and overcome obstacles. But at least you know your direction. That is how these 3 ideas fit together. The first is Ikigai. I have always been fascinated by Japanese culture. I've watched so many episodes of anime that I probably know a few hundred Japanese words by now. Ikigai is often understood as something that gives your life value, a reason to get out of bed in the morning, a reason to continue when life becomes difficult. People sometimes imagine that purpose must be enormous, saving the world, becoming famous, building a huge company, making millions. But life doesn't always work that way. Your purpose does not need to impress anyone. It may be raising kind children, helping your neighbors, building something useful, making one person's day slightly better, taking good care of your family, or simply becoming someone you can respect when you look in the mirror. Purpose does not need to be grand. It only needs to make your life feel worth living. Ikigai gives you a direction. It points toward the mountain. But once you know where you want to go, the next question becomes, how do you get there? That is where Kaizen enters the picture. Kaizen is commonly understood as continuous improvement, changing something for the better. Notice what it does not say. It does not say, become perfect immediately. It says, become a little better. I find that idea comforting and powerful. Perfection feels extremely heavy. If the goal is to become flawless, most of us will feel defeated before we even begin. But becoming slightly better today than we were yesterday? That is possible. If you read one page, that is improvement. If you exercise for 10 minutes instead of doing nothing, that is improvement. If you become slightly more patient, that is improvement. If you notice your mistake more quickly, that is improvement. If you apologize sooner, that is improvement. None of those actions looks dramatic, but they move you forward. People often overestimate what they can achieve in one day and underestimate what they can achieve over 10 years. We create enormous plans for today. Then we fail to complete them and feel disappointed. At the same time, we forget how much small, consistent effort can produce over a decade. Mountains are not climbed in one giant leap. They are climbed one step at a time. At first, one small step appears almost meaningless. But steps accumulate, days accumulate, years accumulate. Then one day, you look back and realize that you built something that almost appears magical. Your health changed, your knowledge grew, your relationships became stronger, your work improved, your character developed. Not because of one enormous action, because of many small ones. Character works in exactly the same way. Every time you practice patience, you become a little more patient. Every time you keep a promise, you become slightly more reliable. Every time you choose courage despite fear, you become a little braver. Kaizen is not only about improving your skills, it is about gradually becoming the person you want to be. But then, something interesting happens. You continue improving. You become experienced. Perhaps you reach the mountain. People begin calling you successful. Maybe they even call you an expert. That is exactly when the third idea becomes essential. Shoshin. Shoshin means something like a beginner's mind. At first, that may sound strange. Why would you want the mind of a beginner after gaining experience? Because beginners see possibilities. Experts sometimes see only certainty. A beginner asks, "What can I learn?" An expert may say, "I already know." Those three words, "I already know," have probably prevented more growth than many failures ever could. When you begin learning something, almost everything feels new. You ask questions, you experiment. You make mistakes without being too embarrassed because you are not expected to know everything yet. You remain open. But after gaining experience, you may begin protecting the image of being knowledgeable. You may stop asking questions because you don't want to appear ignorant. You may reject new ideas because they challenge what you already believe. You may become so certain that you stop noticing possibilities. Children naturally live with a beginner's mind. You ask questions constantly. Why? How? What is that? What happens if I do this? Sometimes you ask dozens of questions in a single hour. You assume there is always something more to discover. That is beautiful. Adults gradually stop asking questions. Not because we learned everything. We stop because we begin believing that we already understand enough. That is dangerous. The moment curiosity disappears, growth usually begins to disappear with it. Shoshin reminds us to remain humble, to stay curious, to keep asking, to remember that every person we meet knows something we don't. Someone may be younger than us, less experienced, from a different background. They may even disagree with us completely, but they may still see something that we cannot see. A beginner's mind does not mean throwing away everything you have learned. It means carrying your experience without allowing it to close your mind. It means saying, "I know something, but I may not know everything." Now look at how beautifully these three ideas support one another. Ikigai gives you direction. It answers, "Why am I walking?" Kaizen shows you how to travel, one step at a time. No magic, no shortcuts, just consistent improvement. And Shoshin reminds you never to believe that you have completely arrived, because life will always have something new to teach you. I believe these ideas also fit beautifully with Stoicism. The Stoics often asked, "What kind of person should I become?" Ikigai helps answer why the journey matters. Kaizen helps you improve your character through small daily actions. And Shoshin helps ensure that you never stop learning how to live more wisely. I may say that I try to practice Stoicism, but I would hesitate to say that I have become a perfect Stoic. There is no final certificate, no moment when you suddenly understand everything and never lose your patience again. It is a lifelong practice. Perhaps that is the larger lesson. Life is not about reaching a finish line where you finally become perfect. The only true finish line of life is not one we should be rushing toward anyway. Life is about becoming slightly wiser today than you were yesterday, knowing why you are walking, taking the next step, and keeping your eyes open so that you continue learning along the way. So here is my guidance for you. Find something worth waking up for, improve a little each day, and never lose the curiosity that makes you ask questions as children. Your daily responsibilities and struggles may gradually make that curiosity quieter. People may become impatient with your questions. You may worry about looking foolish, but I promise to do my best to encourage your curiosity. I hope you keep asking. I hope you keep exploring. I hope you never feel ashamed to say, "I don't know." Because "I don't know" is often the beginning of learning. So remember, have your why, keep improving, and never stop becoming. These three ideas need one another. Purpose without improvement remains only a dream. You know where the mountain is, but you never begin walking. Improvement without purpose becomes busy work. You move faster and faster, but you don't know whether you're traveling in the right direction. And both purpose and improvement eventually become limited without humility. You may reach one mountain and decide there is nothing more to discover. Keep all three together. Know your why. Take the next small step. Keep your beginner's mind. Do that long enough, and one day you may look back and barely recognize the person you once were. Hopefully, you will be proud of who you became. And you will realize that person was not created by one extraordinary moment. They were created through thousands of ordinary days, days lived with purpose, days containing small improvements, days filled with humble curiosity. Ikigai, Kaizen, Shoshin. Know why you are walking, keep moving forward, and never stop learning. And do not ever forget, I love you both very, very much.